Hey Keys to Fun fans, John here from the studio going over our newest micro lesson. Today we're going to be talking about something called the custom section. This is on the Lowry, so you'll forgive me, we're not going to be doing anything on the Yamahas this week. But this was a question that was brought up via an email almost immediately after we started shooting these videos. And I have a list of questions. This was the first one that came up. And it was in regards to what this little section does. If you have a custom section on your Lowry, it's generally over near your power source over on the left-hand side, and it is on some of the larger instruments. So it may not be something that you have, maybe someday, but for those of you that do have it, I want to go over what that section does because I think it's a very underutilized section. It's a section that is oftentimes not even described to the people that have it. And what a benefit it is. So we're going to go take a look at the custom section and show you why it's important and why you should use it. Let's go see. One of the first weeks that we started recording these micro lessons, I received an email from someone asking me about this section called custom. Now, if you look at this section, the custom section is directly next to the power button. I'm looking here on a Lowry Inspire. Although there are many instruments that have this custom section, some of you I'm sure have more than just 3 custom buttons. But their question was, what do these buttons do? I don't seem to use them. I never learned what they did. And the book is a bit confusing, or I've lost the book, or what have you. So I'd like to spend some time today with a quick little lesson, primarily on the organ, talking about this section called custom, if it is a section that you happen to have. So we'll go through all 3 options. I'll explain to you why they're there. I'm going to show you the screen because the screen is going to be a little bit more helpful in terms of what happens when I hit each one of these buttons. But I will go through them one at a time. And we'll cover what their function is. All right, so let's take a look at the screen, and we'll start with custom number 1. Okay, so we've dimmed the lights here for a moment to allow you to see this screen as easily as possible. I know that sometimes when you're focused on something that's a little bit brighter, you can't see the screen at all, just like that. So let's go right back there and focus our attention here to the screen. We can see this is our home screen, which gives you information like the tempo, the chord, the key, song setup, all of these things that are available via a touch button. Now I'm going to reach up and I'm going to hit custom button number 1. Now, first of all, these things can be customized, but basically what each one of these buttons is an internal screen which you can get when you go into your features. So if we hit feature here, these are all screen, then you can choose between some of these screens. Well, the custom option basically gives you a way to get to one of those screens in hopefully maybe a much faster manner. So I'm going to reach up here and hit custom button number 1, and in the screen you're going to see styles. It says please select style because I haven't chosen a style over on the left hand side yet. So let me go up and hit country. And I can see here that that blank space has been filled in with country styles. Now I can go to the other pages and I will get more country styles, obviously. So the question therein is, I guess, why would they put that, meaning Lowry, why would Lowry put that option, this screen, on one of those customizable buttons? And the answer is this. If I am playing a song and I have this Roadside Cafe chosen right here, and let's just play a chord so you can hear what it sounds like. Now, if I happen to want to get to what my home screen would be, so I'm going to hit clear, the feature clear button here, and I'm back to that screen that says my tempo, my chord, my transpose. Roadside Cafe up top, it gives me the instruments on the top and the bottom keyboard. And let's say I'm playing a song and I start okay, so you get the idea. Now let's say that I were to say that I wanted to go to another style in the country section. Now there's one way of doing this, which is to turn my country button off and turn it back on. But if I do this, my rhythm stops. And let's say I'd like to look through, I want to get back to this screen. Well, that's what that custom button allows me to do. So if I have my beat going and I say, you know, I want to change to another style of country music, maybe I'm looking to do some sort of arrangement where I'm looking to play 2-3 songs in a row, all with different styles. Well, you know, you can do that. You can do a little medley like that. But in order to get to another country style, if you haven't set it up prior to on some of your numbered buttons, the only way that I could get to that country option or those country options is to turn the country button off and turn it back on. But again, that stops the beat. So if we bring this back, I get back to that home screen, so I get all of that pertinent information that I need, and I hit custom button number 1. Without stopping, it puts me right to that screen, and again, I can go to my next page if I'd like to change styles that way. Hit buttons, options in the screen here as well. So that's custom button number 1. Okay, how about custom button number 2? Well, custom button number 2 gets me to the page called Next Setup. Now again, this is a screen that I could get to if I happened to be in my features and I were to scroll to page 6 and I would have touched Next Setup here, would have gotten me to this screen. But Lowry thought that this was important enough to put it onto custom button number 2, and here's why. If I hit that option, custom number 2, it gets me to this section called foot switches. Now, why is this helpful? Well, this is helpful because if I want to go to another one of my setups, or on some of your instruments it says presets, numbers 1 through 10 or 1 through 8, and I want to get to that next number without using my fingers to do it, that's what this little screen is giving me the opportunity to do. So if I touch the right foot switch, what that does is it allows me to change to the next number that I want to use without having to reach up to hit the button in order to do it. If I hit left foot switch, it does exactly the same thing. The left foot switch allows me to change on the left-hand side of my volume foot control. These are the little foot switches which are normally given to the glide or the FX or the fill-in. This lets me change those buttons. If I can reposition my camera here for just a moment and we look at the buttons here, I'm on button number 1. If I kick my foot switch to the right because I've turned those on, now I'm on button number 2, button number 3, button number 4, and you can see some buttons above changing, turning on and off. Now if I want to go back the other direction again, to the left, okay, and I can make those changes very simply by just turning that section on. Now finally, let's take a look at custom button number 3. Number 3, one of my favorite ones. Okay, let's say for example that you were to choose ballad, and you reached up and you chose your ballad and you wanted to use the ink spots, the spots of ink, that rhythm style, and you were to go and clear that out, and you were to say, my gosh, I wonder what is on preset number 5. So I reach up and I hit preset number 5. It tells me I have the vibes and I have the piano. Okay, any one of these presets would sound good with probably the most famous Ink Spots song, If I Didn't Care. My point is that in this screen, I can only see individually what's on each number after I hit it. Number 7, vocal duet, solo singer here. Number 9, big band ensemble, another piano. Number 2, Hawaiian guitar, and the vibes. Wouldn't it be great if I could see everything that was on the numbers in one fell swoop? Well, I think you can see where I'm going with this. If I hit custom button number 3, that's exactly what I get. I can see what's on each one of those numbers, both top keyboard and the bottom keyboard, without having to sacrifice, hitting a button. I just simply hit custom 3 and I can see everything. Now, a really cool thing about this is that I'm using a touch-sensitive instrument in terms of the screen here. So if I want to go to a number, I can hit button number 8 in the screen, and it's going to light up button number 8 on the panel. If I reposition our camera here for just a second, right now button number 8, you're going to have to take my word for it, it's very dark because I'd rather you see the screen than the buttons, but number 8 is on. Now this is number 7. If you can see my finger waggling down here at the bottom, watch what happens when I hit number 7 in the screen. Number 7 lights up on the panel. If I hit number 6 lights up on the panel. Number 4, number 1, the regular style setup up top here, okay? So if I choose any of these, I can choose them via the screen or I can choose them on the buttons, either or. But long story short, it gives me the ability to see what's on every one of those numbers in one screen, okay? If I hit vintage, which we haven't really gone over, but vintage just does change what's on these numbered buttons here. If you have that feature, guess what? It changes in the screen as well. If I go to a category, for example, let's say I chose Latin, and I clear my screen out. Again, I'm back to my home screen, but if I go to custom number 3, these are all of the options that are on that Latin category setup right there in the screen. Marimba, society piano, flute, fives, flamenco guitar, and again, you can choose them simply by touching the screen. Okay, obviously this does not equate to every instrument, but as I said, as soon as we started doing these little micro lessons, that was one of the first questions that came up all those months ago, and I'm sorry for just getting it to it right now. But the custom section is a great section. If you have more buttons, check them out, see what those do as well. Thanks for spending some time with us this week. We know your time's valuable, and we like the fact that you'd like to spend 10-15 minutes learning about music with us. A few things of note: we are doing a class on buttons this coming Saturday. If you're watching this during the week, just remember that the last Saturday of every month, and in this case it's this Saturday, we are doing our class here live at the studio. It's going to be Saturday morning Eastern Standard Time at 11 o'clock, and we're going to run till noon, so it's an hour-long lesson where I will basically be taking questions from our live studio audience, mostly our students that take lessons here. If you'd like to take part in it, you're more than welcome to join us live. We are in Rhode Island, so it might be a little bit of a trek for some of you, but for those of you that aren't, 11 o'clock, we'll be here, okay? You can also watch us, though, on our Facebook page live. We will be live streaming the event as long as technology allows us to do that. We'll be live streaming the event, and you'll be able to watch it from the comfort of your home. We'll also be recording it, so in the event that you're not able to watch it live, you can check out our Facebook page or our YouTube site or our website later on that day, or hopefully by the end of the weekend, certainly. And that video will be uploaded to the sites, and you'll be able to fast forward and get right to the sections that you'd like to learn about. Okay, Keys to Fun is an authorized Lowry and Yamaha Clavinova dealer. We are located at 1665 Hartford Avenue in Johnston, Rhode Island. Our website is www.keystofunmusic.com. We do these lessons, again, 10 to 15 minutes each week to give you a little idea as to how to operate the instruments that you own, learn something about music, or both. Okay? We hope you enjoyed the lesson this week. We look forward to next week's lesson, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.